Despite months of protests, the massive live oak known as the meeting tree now lies in pieces. While its estimated 300-year-old story as a living Lowcountry landmark has come to an end, its prologue, written in alternating bands of light and dark wood, has just begun. Within these faded lines, the meeting tree holds over a century of weather information, from the historic 100-year flood in 2015, drought in the 1940s, and even our hurricanes, found and studied through the science of dendrochronology. Most of us know that you can figure out a tree's age by counting its rings, and while that is true, dendrochronologists like Thomas Patterson can use them to find details about the weather over the years.
However suitable the environment is on a given year, the tree will grow more. And if the environmental conditions are not suitable for growth, the tree will grow less. So how we interpret this is we look at growth rings. And when growth rings are larger, like just a wider band, we relate that to things like more rainfall.
Or warmer temperatures, while thinner rings indicate more extreme events, such as drought, tornadoes, or forest fires. So with years of information behind this oak's belt of bark, got to work.
So what we're looking for is a just completely smooth surface.
And started studying the tree's rings, counting down the years, decades, centuries, all the while taking notes and measurements on any trends that stand out, like this one.
You had this cluster of years that were all really narrow. And likely what happened is the tree underwent some sort of a stress or trauma.
Which is exactly what happened in 1989, Hugo.
Think about what happens in a hurricane. High-speed winds. This tree could have suffered branch damage, leaves would have been stripped off.
Leaving the tree damaged, putting it into repair mode with suppressed growth for several years afterwards, all illustrated in these thin bands. The work is meticulous, frustrating at times as the boundaries are fuzzy, the rings faded and wavy. The findings make it worth it, but one question will forever be unanswered. This piece has rings that date back to the late 1800s. Years before this, including the exact age of the meeting tree, are unfortunately lost to heart rot, which afflicts many old oaks here in the Lowcountry. Despite this setback, there is still climate data here dating back to when weather record keeping began in Charleston. Compare those records to these rings on our website, or simply search for how much this massive oak grew in the year you were born. Because it's through that curiosity and a fair amount of science that trees can actually talk to us.
That's the root of it, pun intended.
For this week's Moment of Science, I'm Storm Team 2 meteorologist David Dixon.